went on this trip last year, and that was the primary reason why I wanted to leave this year. But in general, I'm interested in health, and I'm interested in how a strong framework for labor and workers' rights can positively impact people's health.
Worker justice at the root of a lot of social justice issues, and it's definitely at the root of a lot of, political, social, economic problems that we have now. And it was really inspiring to hear from a lot of really sort of smart, accomplished people, and sort of hear from them why they chose to, dedicate their efforts and their time to, whether to worker justice, whether through a union model or whether through worker-centered models. So we started off the week with sort of a focus on sort of more traditional union models. And then we transitioned into sort of newer worker-centered models. And then by the end of the week, we were talking about sort of the big questions of labor policy and where do we go from here and how does this fit into our economy and our political system and things like that. But I think our best moments were those times when every day we did something where we were really sort of involved in on a more sort of a community level, and I think those were our sort of best moments, or the ones that we most enjoyed, and the ones that stand out for me when I sort of review the trip in my mind.
Yeah, I think if you really want to understand workers' issues, you have to hear their stories, and I think being in a position where people were willing to share their stories with us was a really great privilege.
Having sort of a human element to the issues was really, really helpful for me, at least. Not thinking of it in the abstract anymore, but thinking of it really in the way that it affected people's lives.
A lot about sort of the ideal of solidarity, but the picket line is definitely the most sort of actionable or the most sort of action-oriented manifestation of that.
I got really into it, and so did everyone else on the trip. Emily had a bullhorn.
So I was walking and marching, and the guy behind me tapped me on the shoulder and told me that I had attitude and that I should take the bullhorn. So I was really excited.
It was a great moment. I think it's like they hand you a drum and you can't be let me think about it, or But I think that was an essential part of the trip too, is stepping outside of your comfort zone. And
one of the best things about this trip is that it's so cross-cutting. If you really want to understand any social justice issue, you have to understand labor and how people find work and how people support their families. So I think no matter what field you're in, this is something that you need to know about. There doesn't need to be this gulf between different groups of people, between students and the people who work in the cafeteria. We all owe it to ourselves to get to know people who support us. We should talk to the workers around us.
One of my favorite authors, he had this quote that says, "We're responsible to each other because no one else is." And I think that definitely echoes those ideas of solidarity that we experienced on the trip. I think coming back to our Georgetown community, when you look at workers here on campus we interact with every day, and we look at, workers in our immediate community, there's still a lot of, justice to be sought here. And I feel really privileged that we're here in a community that's so supportive of justice, but then also, we're in the greater DC community, which has a lot of issues that have yet to be addressed, and so I feel really empowered to sort of take on a lot of those challenges. I have faith in us to find a way forward. Maybe not just the 9 of us, but as a generation.